Hello, everyone. My name is Bill Spencer, a Senior Director on Microsoft Teams, and I'm pleased today to have Sideways6 presenting their integration with Microsoft Teams, led by Kim Jordan, and Joe Chapman's going to be helping out answering questions. Take it away, Kim.
Thank you. Okay, cool. I am Kim Jordan, and I'm Partnership Manager at Sideways6, and I'm going to talk you through who we are and what we do. So we are Sideways6. We are an ideas company that help enterprise companies collect employee ideas. So I'll discuss a bit about our approach, go into the solution a bit, and then I'll also talk you through some examples of success we've had with our customers so far. So our mission is to help bring good ideas to life every day, everywhere, from everyone. And these names that are appearing as I'm talking are some of the customers that we've been working with so far. So you can see there's like a bit of a mix of industry here. We've got like Nestle, Vodafone, British Airways were actually our first customer. We've also been working with Walmart. So we're not really like industry specific, but we find that where we do create the most value, companies that have a big frontline workforce that they're trying to connect with. And so our solution has a front end and a back end. This is the front end. So originally we actually integrated in with Yammer, but the Teams solution on the bigger screen is the one where we've found that we've created the most value. We don't work in browser. We only work within our integrations, and Teams is by far the most effective. It's because where people are already working, and customers that had ideas and initiatives before working with us within Teams are now collecting 70% more ideas than before. And then this is what our backend looks like. I will give you a brief demo in a bit. This is just a little snapshot, but this is kind of like, we refer to it as like a CRM for the ideas. This is designed to reduce the amount of manpower that you need, because it's all well and good collecting hundreds and thousands of employee ideas, but managing them is a different story. So this is designed to, you can set it up to be automated, really easy to use, and designed to use as little manpower as possible, essentially. We've got 4 use cases for Sideways6 within Teams. So the first of them is process improvement. So collecting ideas on how to save time and money as a business. Engaging employees, so collecting ideas on how to create a better place to work, which will help to reduce employee turnover. Customer experiences, which is sometimes feedback that's come from customers that is then passed on through employees as ideas on how to improve the customer experience. And sometimes it is stuff like product ideas. So sometimes it's innovation workshops to try and come up with new things to sell, etc. And then lastly is sustainability. So lots of companies have huge net zero targets now, and some customers use us to collect ideas on how they can achieve those. So I'm going to talk you through Marks and Spencer's as a customer example, because they have good examples of all 4 of these different use cases. So some of you might remember that in 2018, Marks and Spencer's were underperforming quite notably. It was picked up by the press, and their share price was down. They had low employee NPS. Things just weren't changing fast enough. So their CEO at the time, Steve Rowe, decided to look within the business for ideas. He asked the employees, how can we turn things around, share your ideas? And they did. And so these are some of the ideas that they shared that were implemented. And so firstly, within process improvement, you can see the picture, the little handheld device, these Honeywell devices. These are for shoppers to use whilst they're in store, and they're worth about £500 each. And within a year, they lost about 1,000 of them. So like £500,000 just walking out the shop. And so one of the employees submitted an idea that they would start tagging these devices, which was implemented. And so then they stopped losing so many devices. And ideas like this are helping to contribute to a 17% rise in profit before tax. Secondly, with employee experience, all of these pictures here are ideas that came from employees on how to create a better place to work. So, for example, something as small as putting the pronouns on name badges, which you can see was also picked up by press. These things are helping employees to feel more valued at work, and as a result, contributing to an increase in employee NPS and a reduction in employee turnover. With sustainability, these ideas, so this turning paper processes digital idea came from an employee in a department that was using a lot of paper, which was obviously creating a lot of landfill waste. They suggested, let's put it all online, let's make it digital, which they did. And then this contributed to a reduction in CO2 levels and a reduction in total landfill waste. And with customer experience, so these bottom two ideas came from employees and customers, new product lines, and then this top photo is from a checkout employee. So she noticed that elderly customers were feeling very rushed at checkout, and so she suggested that they should have a separate packing area for people that were a little bit slower to bag their groceries, which was then implemented in a bunch of different stores. And so ideas like this are helping to increase general NPS, but also a 29% increase in year-on-year sales, which is pretty substantial. And so then things started going really well for Marks and Spencer. Not entirely because of us, but we would like to say that we definitely helped along the way. But so to this day, they've had more than 20,000 ideas shared through Sideways6 on Teams, and more than 500 of those have been implemented. So yeah, increase on customer sales, 29% year on year, and then an increase in employee NPS as well. So what we are trying to do at Sideways6 is kind of challenge the conventional way that businesses communicate with their employees. So traditionally, it's always been one-way communication, so something like emails, newsletters, that sort of thing. And then it got a bit better with employee surveys, so it became a bit more two-way. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to take it to the next stages. We're trying to get employees to really own the change that they want to see within a business, and then take it all the way to entrepreneurship. And that's kind of what we do in a nutshell. I'm going to give like a quick question break here in case anyone has any before I move on to the demo. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I can move directly on.
I think you can go right to the demo. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, great. So I will show you guys firstly the front end. So this is where we live. We live in Teams. We live on the toolbar here on the left-hand side. When you click into, oh, you can change this little icon as well. We just picked ideas because we just picked the light bulb because of ideas. But yeah, once you click into it, you can see all the different campaigns that you have open at that time. You can also see expired ones if there are any. As you can see, you can set some to have a time period if it's a time sensitive campaign. Others are just always on, but I'll show you this one as an example. So when you click into a campaign for the first time, it will take you to the details page. In here, you can put all the different information that you need about that campaign. You can add in video content, you can add in infographics, any additional documents or materials you can add in here. And then you can also highlight who is involved in that campaign and what roles they have here. The ideas themselves sit within ideas. And as you can see, you can add in pictures, and it's designed to be really engaging for the employees. So it isn't just a simple like type it into a suggestion box essentially and then never see it again. Here there's full visibility over all the ideas that are being submitted. You can even like and comment and interact with each other's ideas. So if we click into this one, for example, here you can see the attachments, the pictures, and then everyone else that's wanting to comment on that idea. You can also then see the additional information. So here are these fields that you'll be asked to fill in when submitting an idea. Just gives, again, full visibility on what is it going to take and what is it going to include. You can also see the idea stage that it's at in your pipeline. So this one's been delivered. This one is with expert review. But to submit an idea, very, very easy. You just click here and you go, I have an idea, spelled correctly. And then you put your idea in here with any details about it. You can also do attachments, etc. And then when you submit it, here are the fields. So then it will ask you where it aligns with within the business, how difficult is it going to be? But these are all changeable. So these are customizable. They don't have to be these ones. But this is what helps you filter it on the back end. And it also shows that the employees have given some thought into what it's going to entail when they submit this idea. Yes, please. So here you can change the pictures, everything else. And then there's also communications that you'll get once you submit an idea, for example, which I will show you on the back end. But this is the front end, really simple, really easy to use, really accessible. And yeah, the fact is that you can keep getting involved in each other's ideas. That's really exciting for people. But yeah, it's very, very simple. And then, so yeah, the back end, which I will show you now, 2 secs. Is here. So this is the backend. So this is the company dashboard of the demo environment that I just showed you. So all of your different campaigns will feed through into this dashboard initially, and then you can click into the campaign that you want to see. So this is the backend of what we were just looking at. And so here you can see all of the different ideas within that pipeline. You can see what stage that they're at. You have full visibility over where everything is. And the ideas themselves come through into here. So these are these different idea stages that we just saw in the pipeline that you also had visibility of on the front end. These are, again, customizable. They don't have to be qualify, goes into develop, goes into expert review. You can add some in, you can change the language, whatever is the initial process that you guys, the internal process that you guys use, you can change that. You can also filter this however you want. You can move everything around. But once you click into the ideas themselves, this is where you get the information about that idea. So you can assign an owner to it. You can also set it up for a review. And then once you send it for a review, it will be asked. If you're asked to review the idea, you'll also have custom fields like this. But you can also then see any updates that happened to this idea. So you can see when the idea status was changed. You can also then see when it was sent communications. You can change these manually as well, but it's really a benefit that it's set up to be automated. So the back end is really where we differ from the Power App mostly. So we create a lot of additional value, largely due to how little manpower it takes to actually manage the back end. Especially when there's so many ideas, because you can set it all up to be automated, it really makes it so much easier to use. And so I'll show you a bit more about the idea analytics firstly, but in here, so say, for example, you want to have a look at when it was the highest for engagement. You can see that down here. You can see when the most ideas were submitted in January. But you can change this to be whatever date you want. So say you launched it in July and you want to see everything that's happened since July. Everything's in here for you to view. You can also see the top contributors and top influencers, which is quite useful for some customers because you can then reach out to these people and encourage them to continue to be top contributors, to continue to get other people engaged. You can also run like engagement incentives and stuff, which is also really fun. You can also view things like the sentiment score, so you can see whether it's positive or very positive or negative language that's being used mostly within this campaign when ideas are being submitted. And then also some customers really like the little word cloud thing that we get. So you get to see what are the common themes that are being submitted within this campaign. So yeah, they're just all like little useful things that you can really like just get into the ins and outs of these ideas being submitted. But okay, so onto the automation bit. This is where a lot of value is created here because of time saving. So if you just have one idea manager running this campaign, this is where they're going to work some magic. So you can set up these automations here. There's not many because this is just a demo one that we've set up. But what you can do is when an idea is submitted and the cost to implement is high and you're working on a budget, for example, then you can set status to rejected, for example. And so this will help you, the idea manager, it will help them filter this out so that the ideas that they're going through are the ones that are the most relevant, the ones that are going to have the most impact, and they're not just kind of trawling through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of irrelevant ideas. So this is really valuable. What you can also do is you can set up the messaging. So some of these are messaging, for example. So when you first submit your idea, you get a little message in Teams that says, "Hi, thanks for submitting your idea." And this is where all of these live in the library. So here are all the different communications that get sent out. This again more engaging for the employees because it again isn't just dropping it in a box and never hearing about it again. You can update them with well, firstly, thanks for your idea. Secondly, like your idea has been picked up or your idea is now in review stage or something. It just keeps them engaged in the whole process. And then also it means that you don't have to do this manually. You can set it all up again so that it's automated. It's very simple. You can make it really personable. You can make it very like on brand because it's all completely customizable. You can also set up reviews. I mentioned earlier, you can set up reviews and then these are sent to, you can set up like review panels, I guess, in the business. You can just nominate a few people within the business. You send them an email that says there's an idea that potentially needs your review. And then they click on it and then it gives them like a couple of fields like, does this idea represent X? Does this idea represent Y? Or whatever it is that you want to set it to. Again, it's fully customizable. But this is where the reviews come to live. And that's it, essentially. There's also a little bit more information about your contributors. There's a bots option as well, but we don't really use that so much in Teams because of the automated communications. But that's it, really. It's very simple. We can give you a more in-depth demo at a later date. If you are interested, please let us know. We can set that up with one of our team. But that's just a little brief look into Sideways6.
Thank you, Kim. We do have a few questions. I think this is a very compelling application. I love the way that you have integrated the innovations of Edward de Bono in the approach you've taken to idea management, and recognition is really what drives participation in terms of improved productivity, improved cost savings, improved employee connection to the workspace. All of those things Sideways6 can bring to senior management. And I think that's an excellent innovation. So a number of questions. One is, can you elaborate on integration with Viva?
Yeah, we are working on something with Viva at the moment, Viva Connections. We don't have anything to show you today, but it is something that we're working on. And I think it's only like a month or so out. Joe, is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Excellent.
Yeah, so unfortunately can't elaborate too much, but watch this space.
Right. Another roadmap question was around the use of artificial intelligence.
In which context?
Integration with ChatGPT.
Yeah, I can take that, Kim. We're starting to think about how we can leverage it, obviously, given Microsoft's recent investment and all the exciting opportunities for it. Some of her early thoughts might be stuff around crafting communications to idea submitters to keep them up to date with idea progression. And yeah, just helping people kind of flesh out their ideas in a bit more detail. We're at quite early stages of this, but we can see some big potential of how ChatGPT can impact the idea management process.
That's great to hear, Joe. Thank you. Another question is plans or current available feature set that has integration with the COE for Power Platform.
At this stage, we haven't really looked into that too much, but it's definitely something we'd be open to exploring if Microsoft sees potential in sort of marrying the two up there.
Excellent, thank you. Another question is, what languages does Sideways6 support?
So we're English working, countries working with like English software. We're mostly just working with them at the moment, but we do have translations available. What are the translations we have so far? We've got Turkish.
We have Spanish and Italian, and we're working on more as demand comes through.
Great, thank you.
We're quite small and nimble, so we're very much open to quickly adding additional languages as the need arises.
Excellent. Can you describe how licensing works? So I saw almost everything is in Teams that you demoed, but there was some idea manager role as well. So I'm curious how the licensing works, and if you could get a sense, or if we could get a sense on the price range.
So the idea manager position is essentially whoever that business assigns for it to be. So, for example, if you're working with us from the sustainability perspective and it's come from the sustainability department, then it will typically be someone within that team that has the access to the back end to take on that role. It's not that you would necessarily have to hire an idea manager. It typically tends to be someone that is utilizing the program for the campaigns.
So an idea manager and a regular user have the same licensing structure. It's just a role for managing the ideas, if you will. Can you give us a sense of how pricing works?
Yeah, I can take that one, Kim. So right now we're primarily talking about the enterprise app here, which is built for large businesses, crowdsourcing, managing and implementing ideas at scale. The pricing model for the enterprise app is actually not done on a per user model. It's primarily down to the audience size of the campaign, how many integrations, so will it be just Teams or Teams and Yammer, for example, and finally the number of campaigns being run at any one time. So for example, there might be an always on business improvement campaign run all year round. If kind of people across the business want to run more and more campaigns, such as the sustainability team might want to get involved and start running their own campaign to find ideas on how to meet their net zero goals. The innovation team might want to start running campaigns around how they can innovate new products, for example. So yes, a number of campaign slots being run at any one time, which generally scales over time. We're also, as I mentioned in the chat, actually soon to launch something called Sideways6 Lite, which is again a very similar Teams app. The difference there is that's really built for smaller teams within large businesses or smaller companies that don't need that full back-end functionality because they'll have a smaller number of ideas coming through. The pricing model for that is going to be actually a per user per month model, so kind of a lot easier to get started. So yeah, that'll be the difference between the Lite app for smaller use cases and the larger enterprise use case for large companies.
Thank you, Joe. And would you recommend that if there are customers interested in trying the product with a small team initially and then going larger, perhaps, if it's successful?
That is the plan for the Lite app. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And again, do you have a slide that maybe has the contact information?
So if there's just additional questions about what we've talked about, you can reach me at kim.jordan, Jordan, at sideways6.com. Otherwise, the best way to book a demo is actually through our website. There is a page on there to request a demo, and then our AE team will be in touch.
Excellent. Thank you, Kim. Any plans for FedRAMP support?
Again, we're kind of open to that if demand's there. Absolutely, it's not something we've currently done, but yeah, if you get demand that requires that in order to service customers, then absolutely is something we're open to. Yes.
Thank you, Joe. So you've mentioned Yammer and Teams.
Yeah. So Teams is absolutely our kind of core integration at the moment. The lion's share of our customer base is using the Microsoft Teams app to enable their employees to share and collaborate on their ideas. Initially we were built as an idea management platform for Yammer. This was years ago, before Teams existed, before Viva existed. So we've still got the Yammer integration, which actually pulls ideas through from Yammer groups. So it'll be, and people create ideas groups within Yammer, and all those ideas get pulled through into the Sideways6 backend, as Kim showed you. Next up on our roadmap is Viva, likely to be either Viva Engage or Viva Connection. So just making it really easy for employees to submit ideas within Viva that will also pull through into the backend. And then on the other side of the platform is an API that integrates into tools such as Power BI, which is already in place.
Okay, last two questions, and these are a little complicated. Can you speak to data residency? And is there a way to extract or download the data from the campaign?
There is a way to download the data, yes, that one's simple. On the data residency, it's generally going to be hosted on Azure in the same place that you'd be hosting your kind of Teams and Yammer and things like that in the same data center.
So it's hosted in the customer's tenant?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's the right answer.
Yeah, we know that
Right.
obviously ideas are kind of IP. We do take security very seriously. We're also ISO 27001 certified as well, which IT teams really like.
Well, given the high-profile customers you have, I would expect nothing less. So thank you, Kim and Joe, for presenting today. Thank you for your integration with Microsoft Teams. And I really appreciate all the customers and the Microsoft employees who were able to join our presentation today. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.